students, in this video we are going to see how to determine partition coefficient of ibuprofen. Aim for the practical is to determine partition coefficient of ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is a widely used non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Let us see the requirements for the practical. Apparatus we would require are separating funnel, measuring cylinder, beakers, Whatman filter paper. Chemicals we will require are ibuprofen, octanol and distilled water. So octanol and distilled water is our solvent system. The instrument we would be using is UV spectrophotometer. With the help of UV spectrophotometer, we are going to determine the concentration of ibuprofen in octanol as well as water phase, and from this concentration we are going to find out the partition coefficient. So let us see about separating funnel which we are going to use. So it is a laboratory glassware which is generally used in liquid extraction to separate, or you can say partition, the components of a mixture into two immiscible solvent phases of different densities. Now to determine partition coefficient, we are going to determine that how the drug ibuprofen is partitioned between the two solvents, octanol and water. So for this purpose we are going to use the separating funnel. You can see in the diagram that if the two immiscible solvents have different densities, they will form the layer. Okay, here you can see the two layers. So these are the layers of two immiscible solvents. So similarly, we are going to partition our drug between the octanol and water layer. The instrument which we would be using is UV spectrophotometer. Now this instrument is used to determine the concentration of specific analytes. Principle of UV visible spectroscopy is based on the absorption of ultraviolet light or visible light by chemical compounds, which results in production of distinct spectra. Okay, and from this spectra we can find out the absorbance at the particular wavelength. And by using this absorbance, we can calculate the concentration of the analyte. So you can see here the UV spectrophotometer. Now let us see about the solvents. So first is octanol. 1-octanol, it is also known as octane 1O. It is the organic compound with the formula CH3CH27OH. So from the formula you can see it is a alcohol and it contains a long alkyl side chain, so it is a fatty alcohol. It is used to evaluate the lipophilicity of pharmaceutical products. That is, how much the drug is soluble in lipid phase can be found out by using octanol. So the drug which we are going to use, whose partition coefficient we are going to determine, is ibuprofen. You can see here the structure of ibuprofen. You can see its IUPAC name RS2,4,2-methyl-propyl phenyl propanoic acid. You can see here 1, 2 and 3, that is 3 carbon and COH, so it is propanoic acid. Here you can see methyl propyl and this is the phenyl ring. So its molecular formula is C13H18O2 and its molecular weight is 206.2 grams per mole. category of ibuprofen is NSAID, that is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. It is used to treat pain, fever and inflammation. Now let us see about the partition coefficient. Now what exactly partition coefficient is? Partition coefficient is the ratio of concentrations of a compound in a mixture of two immiscible phases at equilibrium. Okay, so the solvents which we are going to use, they must be immiscible with each other. Most commonly in this practicals, one of the solvent is water, while the second is hydrophobic, or you can say lipophilic. Hydrophobic means water repellent, such as 1-octanol. Thus, partition coefficient measures how hydrophobic or how hydrophilic the compound is, that is whether it is water loving or water repellent. Partition coefficient is abbreviated as P and the logarithm of the ratio is log P. So when one of the solvents is water and other is a non-polar solvent, then log P value is the measure of lipophilicity or hydrophobicity. In a biphasic system of octanol and water, you can see here how we can write expression for partition coefficient. So log P is equal to log of solute concentration. The square bracket indicate the concentration. So concentration of solute in octanol divided by concentration of solute in water. Now see, remember, partition coefficient is calculated always for the unionized species. Now what is the importance of log P? Log P has a strong influence on ADME properties of the drug, that is absorption, distribution, metabolism and excretion properties, that is you can see the pharmacokinetic properties of the drug. Log P strongly affects how easily the drug can reach its intended target in the body, how strong effect it will have once it reaches its target, and how long it will remain in the body in an active form. So for this purpose, it is important to calculate log P so that we can have all this information related to pharmacokinetic properties. Now let us see various methods to determine log P. So first is shake flask method. One of the method is HPLC based, that is by using high performance liquid chromatography, pH metric and electrochemical method. So the method which we would be using for our practical is shake flask method. So this method is the classical and most reliable method. It consists of dissolving the solute in the question, that is the solute whose partition coefficient we want to determine, in a volume of octanol and water, and then measuring the concentration of solute in each solvent. Okay, so what is the principle of shake flask method? The method applies to pure substances soluble in octanol and water, and it is not applicable to surface active materials. In order to determine partition coefficient, equilibrium between all the interacting components must be achieved and concentration of substances dissolved in two phases is determined. So what we are going to do? We are going to make a solvent system consisting of distilled water and octanol. So obviously one is aqueous and other is non-aqueous, or you can say non-polar solvent. Then we are going to dissolve the drug in both the solvents, that is we are going to shake our mixture so that ibuprofen will get distribute or partitioned between the water and octanol depending on its nature, that is whether it is lipophilic or it is hydrophilic. Once it gets distributed between the two solvents, what we are going to do, we are going to measure the concentration of ibuprofen in both the solvents, octanol as well as water. And from that we can find out its log P. So let us see the procedure. First of all, prepare saturated solution of ibuprofen in octanol. It is, we are going to dissolve ibuprofen in octanol till a saturated solution is obtained. That is, dissolve ibuprofen in octanol and keep dissolving it, keep adding ibuprofen in octanol until no more ibuprofen dissolves. And then you can filter the solution. So the solution will be saturated solution of ibuprofen. Also, we will saturate the solvent system by shaking. That is, we will take distilled water as well as octanol. We will shake them with each other and allow them to rest for sufficient time so that octanol gets saturated with water as well as water gets saturated with octanol. Okay, so once the saturation of solvent system is done, prepare the following mixture. So we are going to prepare 3 sets. Set 1 is 25 ml of water plus 25 ml of saturated solution of ibuprofen in octanol. Okay. Then we are going to prepare a second set which will consist of 25 ml of water, 20 ml saturated solution of ibuprofen in octanol and 5 ml of octanol. Similarly, prepare set 3. It will contain 25 ml of water, 15 ml saturated solution of ibuprofen and 10 ml of octanol. So you can see here the concentration of water is same in all the 3 sets. We are varying the concentration of or volume of saturated solution of ibuprofen, and again final volume is going to be same. It will be 50 ml in all the 3 sets. Okay, now once we have prepared the 3 sets, shake the mixture vigorously for about half an hour so that ibuprofen gets distributed between the two solvents and distribution equilibrium is reached. So we are going to shake the mixture for 30 minutes. Now we are going to shake all the 3 sets. Okay, so set 1 is to be shaked for 30 minutes, then set 2 we are going to shake for 30 minutes and set 3 again we are going to shake for 30 minutes. Now allow all the flasks to stand for 10 minutes to separate into the clear layers. Keep the mouth of the funnel open during this period to facilitate separation. Okay, after shaking we will allow the flask to stand for 10 minutes so that both the faces will separate into two clear layers. Upper layer will be the octanol layer and the lower layer will be the water layer. Now during this process you have to keep the mouth of funnel open so that separation will take place easily. Okay, so once this separation has occurred, drain off lower aqueous layer in 3 different beakers, that is for set A, B and C. Discard the intermediate layer. Okay, the intermediate layer, it will contain mixture of both water as well as octanol. So we are going to discard that intermediate layer. Octanol layer remains in the separating funnel, as top layer will be octanol, so it will remain in separating funnel. We can collect this layer again in the separate beaker. Measure the absorbance of aqueous solution and octanol solution by UV spectrophotometer. Okay, so we will determine the absorbance of ibuprofen in both the solvents by using the UV spectrophotometer. Now, if needed, dilutions can be done with the same solvent. While determining concentration in UV spectrophotometer, if the concentration is too high, we will not get the spectrum within the desired limits. So what we will do, we will dilute our solution. So if you are measuring concentration of ibuprofen in water, diluted solution with water. And when you are measuring concentration of ibuprofen in octanol, diluted solution with octanol. Okay, and accordingly, dilution factor should be used in the calculations. Now, let us see how to perform the actual practical. Hello students, now let us see the glasswares as well as chemicals which we would require for the practical. So these are the separating funnels. We will be requiring 3 sets of separating funnel. Then your measuring cylinders. Now as we are determining partition coefficient, we are going to shake our solution. So for that we are going to use the bottles. Chemicals which we will require is ibuprofen. We are going to determine the partition coefficient of ibuprofen. Then solvent octanol as well as distilled water. So this octanol I have already taken out in the beaker. And now this is the saturated solution of ibuprofen for determining the partition coefficient. So this solution I have prepared in octanol. So this is saturated solution of ibuprofen in octanol. Now to start with the practical, we are going to prepare 3 different mixtures. So the mixtures will be containing distilled water, saturated solution of ibuprofen in octanol and octanol. So now let us see how to prepare the first mixture. So for this we are going to require 25 ml of distilled water. So we are going to use the measuring cylinder. So here I have taken 25 ml of distilled water. Then we will require 25 ml of octanol, saturated solution of ibuprofen. Okay, so our first set is ready. We will keep this aside and now we are going to prepare the second solution. Now for the second solution, we are again going to take 25 ml of water. We have labeled this bottle as B. Now take 20 ml of saturated solution of ibuprofen. And also in this we are going to add 5 ml of our octanol. Okay, so our second set is also ready. Now we are going to prepare our third set. Okay, now let us prepare the third set. So again we are going to take 25 ml of water. So as you can see that quantity of water is fixed in all the 3 sets, that is 25 ml. Okay, we are using distilled water. Now we are going to add 15 ml of saturated solution of ibuprofen. And now we are going to add 10 ml of octanol.
So this is 5 ml and more 5 ml. So now you can see that our 3 sets are ready, containing different proportions of saturated solution of ibuprofen and the solvent octanol. Water is same in all the 3 bottles. So now our 3 sets are ready. So we are going to determine partition coefficient with help of the shake flask method. So we are going to shake all the 3 solutions for half an hour. Okay, so during shaking, what will happen? Equilibrium will be achieved of ibuprofen between your 2 phases, that is octanol and water. And then to determine the partition coefficient, we are going to determine the concentration of ibuprofen in both the solvents. So now we will shake all the 3 solutions individually for half an hour. So now we have completed the shaking of all the 3 solvents for half an hour. Now what we are going to do? We are going to take out the solutions, 3 solutions into 3 different separating funnels, and then we will allow it to rest for 10 minutes. So now we have transferred the contents into the separating funnel. You can see here. So this is the solution A. Now you can see here the formation of 2 layers. So what will happen now? The octanol as well as water phase, they will start getting separated. We will allow the separating funnel to stand in this way for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes we will take the aqueous phase into the beaker. Similarly, you can see the solutions B and C into the different separating funnels. So 10 minutes have passed. Now 10 minutes have passed and you can see that both the layers have been separated. The lower layer is the aqueous layer and the upper layer is the octanol. And remember, while we allow for separating 2 layers, we have not to put the cork over the separating funnel. So now we are going to collect both aqueous as well as octanol layer. So we will slowly release the stopper and collect the aqueous layer. Now remember students, we have to discard the intermediate layer as it may contain mixture of both water as well as octanol. Then we are going to measure the concentration of ibuprofen in both the layers, water as well as octanol. So you can see we have collected the aqueous layer. Now we are going to discard this intermediate layer because it may contain traces of water as well as octanol. So we will take the waste beaker and we will discard that layer. Okay, so now you can see this contains only the octanol layer. So what we are going to do next is we are going to measure the concentration of ibuprofen in both aqueous layer as well as the octanol layer. Similarly, we are going to collect the both the layers separately for the flask B as well as C. That is, for all the 3 solutions we will be having 1 aqueous layer for each. That is 3 aqueous layer for 3 different and 3 octanol layer for 3 different solutions. So students, we have collected our octanol phase as well as water phase and we have sufficiently diluted our samples. Now we are going to measure the concentration of ibuprofen in octanol phase as well as water phase by the UV spectrometry. So you can see here the instrument. It is UV 1800. Its make and model is Shimadzu. Okay, you can see here UV spectrophotometer. So this instrument we are going to find out we are going to use to find out the concentration of ibuprofen in the octanol phase as well as water phase. So you can see when we put on, you can see the window. So we are going to press enter. Now you can here see the various modes, right, starting from photometric, spectrum, quantitation and so on. So the mode which we are going to use is spectrum mode. That is, first we will scan the spectrum of ibuprofen and then we will find out the maximum absorbance, that is absorbance at the peak wavelength. Okay, now you can see these are the cuvettes for UV, the sample holder. This is the sample holder. You can see the two surfaces. One is rugged while other is plain. So this plain surface is quartz. We are using quartz as it is transparent to UV radiation. Glass is not transparent, so we cannot use the simple glass. You can see here quartz surface, and this is the rugged surface to handle the cuvette. Now this is a double beam spectrophotometer. So there will be two cuvettes. One will be holding the reference solvent and other to hold our sample. Okay, now the important thing is both the cuvettes, they must have same path length. Okay, the cuvettes have to be handled very carefully. Now let us start with the first step. Now I have already rinsed and washed the cuvettes with water very properly. Now first we are going to measure the concentration of ibuprofen in octanol. So for that I will rinse both the cuvettes with octanol. You can see here the waste beaker. We will wipe out the quartz surface very carefully with the help of soft tissue. Now you can see this is your sample compartment. Now see, we have to keep the quartz surface towards this side as light is going to enter from here. So this I have put. Again I will take the second cuvette, rinse it with octanol. Fill the cuvette, you can fill up to 70%. Wipe it out carefully. Again place in this. Now so as I have told, we are going to use the spectrum mode. Okay. So now here you can see measurement mode is absorbance. Scanning range is 400 to 200 nanometer. Then recording range you can see 0 angstrom to 1 angstrom. Then scan speed we are going to use fast. So these are various parameters. Now first important thing is we need to nullify our solvent interferences. So for that we are going to do baseline correction. So I have filled both the cuvettes with octanol. Whatever the solvent, we are going to fill the cuvette with that solvent. So first solvent we are going to use is octanol. So we will, you can see here baseline correction. Okay, so you have to press the F1. Now you can see the baseline correction has started. You can see here the wavelength is changing. Scanning is always done from higher to lower side, that is 400 to 200 nanometer. So you can hear the noise. It indicates that baseline correction has been done. Okay, so now I will remove only one cuvette, other I will keep as it is. So I will throw this away. Now this was our octanol phase from set A. So we have sufficiently diluted our samples. So put this, and now we are going to press the button start. So you can see the scanning has started from 400 nanometer. You can see here the wavelength is changing. You can see the graph of ibuprofen, the spectrum of ibuprofen. So the scanning has been completed. Now we are going to find out the maximum absorbance at the lambda max. So for that we will move the cursor. You can see we are going to press from here. You can see the line coming from the left hand side. So this helps us to find out the maximum absorbance. So you can see the absorbance 0.604 and the wavelength is 264.30 nanometer. So we are going to note down this absorbance and we are going to use it in our calculations. So we have took the absorbance in octanol phase. Now we are going to find out the concentration in aqueous phase. So now we need to change the solvents for baseline correction. Now see, as our solvent is changing from octanol to water, so we will again be required to do the baseline correction with help of water. So rinse the cuvette very carefully and properly. We will give the rinsing 2 to 3 times because you can see earlier phase was octanol, it is slightly sticky. Wipe out the outer surfaces. So this I have kept in the reference cell. Again I will take out our second cuvette, our sample cuvette. We will throw this out. In this also I am filling water, our distilled water. Rinse it very carefully. See students, remember to handle the cuvette very carefully. They are very costly. Now see, while filling it is okay to fill up to 70%. If you try to fill it fully, what will happen? The solvent may come out from the cuvette and it will contaminate the outer surfaces. So I have placed both the cuvettes containing distilled water in both the cells, this reference and our sample. Now again you can see here functions. We are going to do baseline correction so as to remove solvent interferences. You can see baseline correction has now started. So baseline correction has been completed. Now we will remove only one cuvette. Remember, we will keep the sample cuvette as it is containing solvent. We'll discard this. Now this is the water phase containing ibuprofen. We will rinse once with it. We have sufficiently diluted our samples. So in calculation we will be using this dilution factor. Now we will keep this. Now we are going to start the scanning. Press the start button. You can see the wavelength is changing from 400 to 200 nanometer. The scanning has started. So this we are scanning the spectrum of ibuprofen in the aqueous phase. You can see we have got some absorbance. Okay, so the scanning has been completed now. Okay, so now let us find the absorbance at the lambda max. So we are going to press this arrow button. So while we press this, you can see a line coming from the left hand side. This helps us to find out the concentration at the lambda max. So now you can see here. You can see the concentration. Now see, absorbance 0.474, 476, 7. Okay, so it is decreasing now. Okay, so we will again go back. So maximum absorbance is 0.477 at 264 nanometer. Now we are going to use this absorbance in our calculation after applying the suitable dilution factor.
So students, in the video we have seen how to perform the practical. We have also seen how to measure the absorbance of ibuprofen using UV spectrophotometer. So we saw that absorbance in octanol was found to be 0.604 and that in water was found to be 0.477. Similarly, absorbance was taken for ibuprofen for set 2 and set 3. So for set 2, absorbance was found to be 0.616 in octanol, whereas in water it was 0.489. And for set 3, absorbance in octanol was found to be 0.599 and that in water was found to be 0.471. Now let us see the calculations. So to determine the concentration, we would require absorptivity of ibuprofen in water as well as in octanol. So absorptivity of ibuprofen in water was found to be 280 and that in octanol is 240. Now we know that partition coefficient is calculated for the unionized species and concentration which we would obtain would be the concentration of the ionized as well as unionized species. So we need to find out the percentage ionization of ibuprofen so that we can subtract the ionized concentration from the total concentration to get the unionized concentration. So for ibuprofen at pH 4, pKa is 2.5. So the percentage ionization is equal to 100 divided by 1 plus 10 raised to pH minus pK. This will give you percentage ionization. Now why we have taken here pH 4? Because saturated solution of ibuprofen in octanol, it has the pH 4. So using this formula, percentage ionization comes out to be 3.06. Now let us find out the concentration of ibuprofen in octanol phase. So here absorbance is equal to absorptivity into B into C, where B is your path length of your cuvette and C is the concentration. So concentration is equal to absorbance divided by absorptivity into path length. And see here we have take into consideration dilution factor. So dilution factor is 10,000. So by using or putting all the values, path length is 1 centimeter and absorptivity as we have seen is 240. So by using all these values, concentration comes out to be 25.61 gram per ml. Let this concentration be R1. Okay, now this is the total concentration. Now we need to find out the concentration of unionized drug. So this will be R1, that is total concentration, minus R1 into Z, that is percentage ionization, divided by 100. So concentration of unionized drug, it comes out to be 24.39 gram per ml. Okay, so this is the concentration of unionized ibuprofen in octanol phase. Now let us see concentration of ibuprofen in water phase. So calculations will be same. Now for ibuprofen in water, the dilution factor was 10. So concentration comes out to be 0.017 gram per ml. Now let this concentration be Q1. So again the concentration of unionized drug will be total concentration minus the concentration of ionized drug. So this comes out to be 0.016. Now as we know log P1, it is log of concentration of drug in octanol phase divided by the concentration in water phase. So putting the values, we get log P1 to be 3.18. Now similarly, we are going to perform the calculations for set 2 as well as set 3. So you can see the formulas are same, only the value of A is going to change. So for set 2, concentration of unionized drug was found to be 24.87 gram per ml in octanol phase. For water phase, for set 2, concentration was found to be 0.016. So log P value was found to be 3.19. Now again for set 3, you can see formulas and calculations will remain the same, only we will change the value of absorbance. It was found to be 0.599. So using this value, the concentration of unionized drug comes out to be 24.18 gram per ml. In water phase, the concentration is found to be 0.015 grams per ml. So log P value comes out to be 3.21. So now let us see the result. For set 1, log P value is 3.18, for set 2 it is 3.19, and for set 3 it is 3.21. So average log P of the 3 sets was found to be 3.19. And the reported log P for ibuprofen in literature was found to be 3.97. Okay, so you can see the values are almost close to each other. Now from this value, that is 3.19, we can see that ibuprofen is lipophilic in nature because the ratio is concentration of unionized drug in octanol divided by that of unionized drug in water. Okay, and you can see the ratio is more than 1, hence the drug is lipophilic. Ibuprofen was more soluble in octanol. Now time for synopsis. So what is the difference between partition coefficient and distribution coefficient? Now many times this term is used interchangeably, but there is difference between the partition coefficient and distribution coefficient. Now partition coefficient, when we are talking about it, generally refers to the concentration of ratio of unionized species, whereas distribution coefficient, it refers to the concentration of all the species, that is ionized as well as unionized. Okay, that is why in the calculation we had used percentage ionization. Give IUPAC name of ibuprofen. So it is RS242 methyl propylphenyl propanoic acid. What is partition coefficient used for? So partition coefficient is used to describe how a solute is distributed, or you can say partition between two immiscible solvents, where one of the solvent is hydrophilic and other is hydrophobic. So they are used in drug design as a measure of solutes hydrophobicity and a proxy for its membrane permeability. Explain distribution of drugs in the body compartments on the basis of partition coefficient. So how you can interpret about distribution of drugs on the basis of partition coefficient. So drugs with high partition coefficient are preferentially distributed to hydrophobic compartments such as lipid bilayers, because you know, higher the partition coefficient, more the lipophilic drug is. So drugs with high partition coefficient, they will get distributed to hydrophobic compartments like lipid bilayers of the cell, while hydrophilic drugs, they are found in hydrophilic compartments like blood serum, that is the drugs with low partition coefficients. Now what is importance of log P? So it gives an indication of how easily the drug is absorbed, how long it remains in the body in active form, and how it is metabolized and excreted. Which solvents are used to determine partition coefficient? So most commonly one of the solvent is water while other is hydrophobic, such as 1-octanol, the one which we have used in our practical. So why is ibuprofen lipophilic in nature? Now from the practical we have seen that ibuprofen, it showed partition coefficient 3.19. So from that we can see that it is lipophilic in nature. So what is the reason for its lipophilicity? So the reason is the presence of 2-methyl propyl moiety. We have seen the structure. In the structure we had seen at second position there was 2-methyl propyl of the phenyl ring. Okay, so this is the nature. This is the reason why ibuprofen is lipophilic in nature. Thank you.